This is a pretty easy one. You can have nice effects by making the center of a picture the focus of attention and then have other effects around about it. It's just to finish off this little assignment. You'll be doing 2 of these, and I've given you one called Jester, but you don't have to use it by any means. Use any one you want. But as long as you follow vaguely the same effect. So there will be 2 of these with different effects on them. I'll put this away. No, I don't. And I'll pull up. There be Jester. Up you come. I'll put away this. Okay, as usual, make sure your layers palette is visible. And what we'll do first of all is duplicate this background twice. So Control J, Control J. There we have them. And then I'm going to actually rename them so that when I'm talking about layers, you'll know which one I mean. So layer 2, I right click, I go to layer properties, and I'm going to call this one Jester, and then OK. And then on layer 1 underneath it, this is the one that we're going to put the effects on. So that's right click, layer properties, and effects. So I have Jester, effects, and background. Right, on Jester, highlight the Jester layer. I'm going to get a marquee tool. I'm going to do rectangular, but by all means you can do elliptical. That would work equally well. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a square around the area that I want to highlight. There we are. And I'm making sure that I'm not overlapping with the boys here. I just want this to be my focus. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is invert this. So Control Shift I, or select inverse. There, I have my marching ants around here now. So anything that I do will apply to everything except that center section. And I'm going to hit delete, not backspace, but the delete key. Okay, and then I'll put these away so you can't see. There, you have just my little section in the middle there on Jester. All right, and then on layer 1, I'm going to deselect this. Okay, Control D to deselect, and then I'm going to put my effects on the effects one. So I'm going to go up to image and adjust, and I'm going to make it desaturate. So this, I'll put this away. This effects layer is now black and white. Then I go back to Jester, and you can just see the color. So we need to make the colored area stand out. And by doing that, the easiest way would be to put a drop shadow on. So click on Jester, and then here is the drop shadow in the blending options palette. Click, up they come, drop shadow. Now you can move the shadow around anywhere you like. Okay. If you look at this shadow here behind the boys, you see the sunlight is actually coming from top right to bottom left. So I'm going to make it fit. There. Now that's a heavier shadow than the boys have got. This must be close on midday. So I'm going to make this, let's see, 35. That's looking better. What about opacity? Let's try 50. It's taking shape, but I'm going to go with 75. I want that effect. I've decided. Okay. Now while I'm here, click on Bevel and Emboss. Okay. And as long as you click in not just check Bevel and Emboss, but actually click on Bevel and Emboss, you get the Bevel and Emboss options. If you click on Drop Shadow, you go back to the Drop Shadow options. So Bevel and Emboss. And then play around. What sort of a style do you want? Outer bevel? What about emboss? They're making differences. Pillow emboss? Oh, I like that one. Stroke emboss? I'm going to go for pillow emboss. Looks good to me. And then I'm going to go OK. And there we're applying. So what I've got right now is one effect on the center part, and then I'm going to put an effect on the other. So let's do you could simply go click on effects, and then instead of normal mode, you might want something else. What could we have? Hard light. Ooh, that has its possibilities, but it got rid of the desaturation. What does soft light do? Luminosity. Normal. Go back to normal. Okay, I will go up to image, adjust, and then I'm going to take hue and saturation. Okie cookie. And then click on colorize, and then simply play around. I quite like this effect. We've got a sepia, old-fashioned, not just black and white, but that old-fashioned. Now, how much saturation? Lightness. Do I want it lighter? I'm going to keep the lightness. Hue. I want that strong contrast between the old-fashioned sepia look and the color, and then okay, I'm all right with that. And then I might want to enhance that color a bit. Let's see what I've got. I'm on the Jester layer, and then I go back up to, let's see what hard light does. That's quite interesting. And we'll pull down the opacity a bit and see what that does. But then that kind of distorts the difference that we've got between the two layers. So I am going to undo that. Let's see what dissolve comes up with. So all you're doing is playing around. What could we have? Soft light. I did soft light, didn't I? Multiply. Too dark, unless I take the opacity down. But no, I'm not keen on that. I will leave it at normal. I've got my drop shadow on there, bevel and emboss. Round I go. And then on effects, I've got that nice sepia look. You might want to put in some filters too. I mean, you could have artistic. Let's see what colored pencil would do. Pencil width. And then okay. Applying. Playing around with the filters. And try and come up with quite a difference between the center section and then the area around it. Two pictures with different effects on it. I think I overdid it, huh? Not to worry. Edit, fade colored pencil, and I'm going to make it maybe... Okay. All right. So 2 of these to do. And then you've got leaves. There's 1 leaves collage, 2 gestures, and in a web page, please. Thank you very much.